Hey guys, what's going on? So Knights Chronicle had an update last night, or it could be this morning for some of you, depending on where you live. So I wanted to go over it, as well as go into the game a little bit later since the patch is back up already, and poke around there a little bit. But first of all, I think the main thing are we do have 3 new heroes. Starting with Morrigan here, you can actually get her guaranteed by summoning 3 times, which we'll check out in-game as well. That's what it looked like anyway, although I haven't tried it myself. We do have 581 crystals right now, so maybe I'll do a little bit of farming in between recording this, and we'll try it out. I will give my brief thoughts on these new heroes when we go into the game. Right now we're just going through the patch notes so we don't miss anything. We also have a hybrid wind Kali and a dark defense type Claude. Almost like claws. Also, I was just wondering when the 11th chapter will get released, and it has today. The new Dark Forest area, a new Advent dungeon, which is currently half off stamina, if I remember correctly. It is 4-star though, so us noobs probably can't clear it anyway. There's also a new system in place for runes where you can change the set of the rune. This will reset the enhanced level of the rune as well as the substats, so make sure to keep that in mind. I was messing around with that a bit in game, and it is crazy expensive, at least for 6 stars. So again, for us noobs, that's probably not something we're going to be really messing with right now. There's a sort of fail-safe system for summons now, which is always awesome to see. So you're kind of guaranteed something depending on how much you put in there. We can see the table here. Yeah, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. So I assume when you do 3 summons, you get all the rewards here. And the new hero trade ticket is either Morrigan or Claude, depending on which banner you're summoning from. And in addition to whatever else you get from the summons and the guaranteed Morrigan or Claude, you'll also be getting stamina potions and rainbow essence. Another thing I just noticed, which is quite cool, is you can take those PAL points and recharge stamina for them. 200 stamina for 200 PAL points. You can do that 3 times per day. They also changed the chat window, so where you can see what people are typing without having to click the chat bubble, it seems. I kind of liked it not like that, but okay. They improved the UI for checking out your heroes, so you can check out more stuff more easily. They also improved the UI for missions and challenges. It'll just pop up there now, so you don't have to go into any other settings to see that. Another UI change for monthly rewards, and some other various fixes and improvements. You can pause and read that here, but I read through it. Doesn't seem like there's anything too massive. And that's pretty much it for the update. We are in the game now. We're going to be poking around, checking out all those different things in game. I'm going to give my thoughts on the new heroes. Firstly though, I want to quickly discuss the current events going on right now, which you can always see by going into notices. And one that I wanted to point out is the Goldmon drop ×2 that we have going on right now. So I would really encourage you, because gold is a super important thing in this game. You should definitely take advantage of this. I've already used a couple of dungeon refreshes, so this will be my very last attempt here. And I saved 1 clear so you can see kind of what you get from 1 run here. So I'm going to be selling all of the Goldmon that I have from 10 runs, because I sold the first 5 already, didn't have enough inventory space, so I didn't have any Goldmon before. So this is 10 runs worth of gold, dudes. 2.5 million. That's quite crazy. You can refresh your attempts twice, giving you a total of 15 runs, and I would definitely encourage you to do that during this event time. Definitely take advantage of that. There is a special pack in the shop that comes with, I believe, 20 dungeon refreshes, 30 stamina potions, and 110 crystals for $9.99. Which I think is a very good deal, especially with this event going on. If you're not going to do that, then just buy the dungeon refreshes for 10 rubies. So yeah, you can buy 10 for 90 crystals. And I think that would be the better option here, even though it is a bigger hit all at once. But you do save 10 ultimately. I would actually rather do that because this event is going on for, I believe, a week. With that being said, now would also be the time to farm some runes, because this is also half off stamina, so go for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and head to summoning so we can see what's going on there. These 2 banners last for 2 weeks, so you have time to decide if you want to go for them or not. But if we click this little gold icon here, we can actually see what's going on. So tier 1 reward, it says obtained by summoning 1 time, and since there is only the 200 for 11 summons, that's what I assume that means. So for 200 crystals, you get these rewards, and apparently, because it says 2 times, 2 times, 2 times, which is a little bit weird. So you would apparently get these 3 rewards by summoning again for a total of 400 crystals, which includes 1.8 million gold, 9 stamina potions, and some rainbow essence there. And then the 3rd time you would get the guaranteed Morrigan here, 4-star, more stamina potions, more rainbow essence. And the same thing is for the other banner for Claude. Same exact rewards, except you just get Claude instead. If you are still pretty new to the game, getting those 1200 crystals shouldn't be too much of a problem, because in the beginning you're getting crystals from everywhere, your missions, doing the first clear rewards from the chapter stages, and getting a guaranteed pretty much bonus SSR, I would say, is pretty good, along with those extra rewards there. And with those new heroes, we have a lot of new event quests as well, maxing them out. If you max them both out, you will have completed all of the achievements. Just getting them to level 60 and unlocking their hero talents will net you all of those extra rewards there. There are a couple non-related, like clearing the Evo dungeon 20 times and evolving a hero to 6-star 3 times. So besides Morrigan and Claude, there is a 3rd new hero called Callie, but she apparently doesn't have a banner right now. So we're just gonna be checking out their skills on the update page. Starting with Morrigan here, and she has a pretty interesting leader skill I haven't seen from anyone else, although granted I haven't seen that many leader skills, but it increases all fire allies attack by 40%, so that'd be good for like a full fire team in something like the boss dungeon, where you have to take one element anyway, and she'd be a good leader there to increase the attack. She definitely focuses on bleeding. Her first skill has a 35% chance to cause bleeding for 30% of her attack for 2 turns. Her second skill is a 3-target attack, again 35% chances to cause bleeding, and it removes 1 buff. And her 3rd skill is quite interesting as well. It is a single target attack, 300% of attack that ignores defense. And there's a 60% chance to make the target unable to be revived for 2 turns. So I know there are some meta heroes that revive themselves, so that would be pretty interesting counter to those. Also, if you fail to kill the target, it'll decrease the cooldown of the skill by 2 turns. So her passive also kind of relies on bleeding, because she'll inflict 50% of her attack to a bleeding target at the start of the turn. It'll also increase her attack by 10% for 2 turns when she attacks a bleeding target, which stacks up to 5 times. And she'll also apply a status Demon Sword Bloody Petal to the caster upon killing an enemy to inflict 30% additional damage for 2 turns. So definitely kind of all around bleeding here. And her level 60 passive is quite interesting as well. She now has a 50% chance when attacking to apply this same buff, the Demon Sword Bloody Petal. In addition to that, when she dies, she'll revive with 50% of her HP and become a berserker for 3 turns. While she's a berserker, she is guaranteed to counter attack and multi-strike, and her damage will be decreased by 25%. So all around very interesting hero in my opinion, especially with that level 60 hero passive. I think that is quite good sounding. But of course, make sure to tell me what you guys think about this character, because I am still quite a noob, so everything I say you should take with a grain of salt, obviously. But just from first impressions wise, she does sound quite good. So now we're taking a look at Callie, the one that doesn't currently have a banner. Her leader skill is actually the same, so it just increases the wind allies attack by 40%. Her first skill has a 35% chance to brand the target. It increases the damage taken, so it's kind of like a defense reduction sort of thing. And it will decrease the target's buff duration by 1 turn if they have a buff, if the caster is hidden. Her second skill is a single target attack, 35% chance to cause bleeding. That's kind of interesting, so maybe she would go together with the Morrigan. And then an additional 30% of attack to 2 more enemies, which causes them to bleed for 30% of attack for 2 turns. So her second skill looks like definitely going to cause some bleeding there, because I think those 2 additional targets will be guaranteed to be bled, because it says just 2 additional, no chances there. And her third skill is a single target nuke, 300% of attack, 10% more damage when attacking attack type enemies, and it will increase her attack by 40% for a turn if she kills the target. Her base passive will hide her for a turn at the start of the wave, which makes her immune to targeting, but she is still vulnerable to AoE attacks. She also has a 50% chance to hide when using skills, and she'll poison 3 enemies for 30% of her attack for 2 turns if she's hiding at the start of the turn. It looks like she's also a self-reviver. Once you get her up to level 60 and unlock that talent, she'll recover all of her HP and blind all enemies for a turn. Also, she'll deal 40% more damage when attacking a target affected by damage over time, which I assume would be bleeding, poison, burning, stuff like that. There are tons of different buffs and debuffs, so it's kind of hard to learn all of them in 2 days or whatnot. But yeah, being another self-reviver, especially being able to deal more damage to heroes who are taking damage over time, which he deals a lot of. So does Morrigan with her bleeding. They might go pretty well together. And now we're taking a look at the tank Claude. Of course, his leader skill is more defensive. Dark and Wind allies defense by 20%. His first skill has a 30% chance to taunt 3 enemies. 30% does sound a little bit low. 3 enemies, so the chances to taunt at least one are there. And if the target's already taunted, then you have a 50% chance to reduce their attack. So yes, that's definitely very tank-like. His second skill is a single target attack with a 50% chance to put the target to sleep for 2 turns. A sleeping target can't attack. If they are attacked, they will wake up, but that attack will be guaranteed to be a critical. There's also a 35% chance to brand them for 30%, meaning they should take 30% more damage for 2 turns. And his third skill targets 3 enemies with a 50% chance to apply Looming Death for 2 turns. And Looming Death is a pretty powerful debuff, so if I'm understanding everything right, after those 2 turns, if they haven't been able to get rid of this debuff, they will just die. And after the first turn has passed, they'll take 50% of their current HP as damage, and the next turn they'll die if it's not gone. So a 50% chance on 3 targets, that sounds like a pretty solid chance to get at least 1 or 2. He'll also apply a buff to himself for 2 turns that grants damage immunity, and if the enemy removes this buff, they will fall asleep for 2 turns. And his passive seems to play off of that, where it gives him a 70% chance to taunt all enemies for a turn, and will apply Veil of Phantasm to all allies, which means they will be guaranteed to evade 1 attack. But this only happens when Claude is affected by this buff that he gets from his third skill. So obviously that's not going to happen a lot because that has a skill cooldown of 7. And again, his level 60 hero talent is also affected by his third skill because of this Dirge Ghost Girl buff. I'd say it's pretty much a healing. I'm not sure if it would also increase their max HP. I'm not going to really make any assumptions here because I don't quite understand it. But yeah, I guess considering Claude will always have the more HP being a tank, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to understand. But yeah, I guess that'll pretty much do it for the little first impressions of the heroes. I probably got half of everything wrong, so make sure to correct me in the comments down below. I'm not too sure about Claude. Honestly, he does seem very tanky, and he seems to fit that role pretty well with his taunting. And his third skill seems very powerful as well, because it kind of plays into the passives with this Dirge Ghost Girl, whatever it's called. But I don't know, personally, I've never been really a tank person, so I'll probably go for Morrigan first, and then if I have enough crystals before his banner ends, I might go for him as well. But yeah, I guess that'll pretty much do it for the patch. Make sure to tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you happen to enjoy would also be greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. And yeah, that'll do it. Thanks guys, as always, for watching, and until next time.